from there. So,
What are we running this in again? What con is this?
LooneyCon.
Ah, this is LooneyCon. Are you
Yes,
sharing it in the LooneyCon server?
I did.
What about your servers?
I I tried to get to all of them. Okay.
What about the Fallout Equestria server? It's
Okay.
not that relevant, but
I'm
people
according
might
to
like
the
it.
live dashboard. We are live. Although I
Are
need
there
to,
people?
fade in the visuals.
We have
That might
visuals?
help.
What kind of
Just a little bit.
fancy shit is this?
What?
I said we have visuals? What kind of fancy shit is this?
By visuals means that I have face cam. And you guys don't. My
Yeah,
internet
no.
kind of sucks, so it's like freezing every couple of seconds. I changed
Yeah,
this to a.
I've gone there. I'm gonna go see if we have anybody.
There, we're gonna change it to a different network, so we might drop stream connection for a second. Yep. I temporarily, I temporarily lost connection.
Come into our channels and
No,
watch
that's
us.
not true.
Not that I remember.
There were mods in the chat. I even had
I
to.
don't remember
I
that.
even had to. Oh man, God.
A mod.
Hold on. Having stream connection issues. Switch back to the other connection. Technical difficulties, people. Okay, nope. Okay, okay, stream health is low, but I think it's working better than what it was. Okay, anyways, welcome. 3 minutes late to this always a connection issue right at the beginning kind of panel. To this is fine. To them pony comics in one weekend. Part one, which is the specifically the one about actual official IDW comics. It's not the IDW panel. I don't know if they have a panel specifically about that this time around, but yeah, I should just stop trying to watch the live dashboard because it's like real shit. So, I swore. Should just I see we're live, but I'm gonna stop watching the live stream because it's probably making things worse for my live connection. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so this is the second to last run of the Them Pony Comics panel. I'm tweaking the format and coming back at other live convention things like this with a different type of panel. It's just the Them Pony Comics is ending mostly because a lot of these panels, god damn it, god dang it, a lot of these cons have an actual like IDW panel with IDW artists and writers sometimes. So my panel becomes redundant. And also I've noticed we talk about a lot of the same stuff every single time. Like my issues with the Nightmare Forces and certain comics I love and dislike. So it's like repeated over and over again at multiple conventions. So I'm kind of changing up the format, and I will give more information on that at the end of the panel. But way too late. Welcome to the haphazard train wreck that is the Them Pony Comics panel. I am joined today once again by Anime Wolf Gamer, who is working on. I think he's still working on a fan dub of the IDW comics for MLP, right? You're really quiet. I don't know if it's just my headphone or if it's Oh, okay. I'm also joined once again by Chalkfee, also known as Bun Bun. And yes, on the stream, it does say Chalkfee and then parentheses Bun Bun. True. It's actually several different names across different social medias. You're not very good with consistency. Okay. Let's get to the opinions on the comics that we usually do during this panel. Literally due to the current situation. So anime. Anyways, anime. Apparently, you are not being picked up well in the stream. I can increase the volume in OBS, maybe. And wait, hold on. Speak. I don't think any of your audio has been going to the stream. What the hell? I was hearing things earlier. I thought I sent things. God dang it. Yeah, you show audio capture. That should be. Yeah, I'm trying to fix the audio issue. Macs are really stupid when it comes to things like this. I don't know why they changed how audio functioned. What the hell? You were showing up before, but now you're not showing up at all. Do I need to set the input? No, I need to set the input needs to be the Samsung Go. Always have some kind of issue. What the hell? What the hell, OBS? What? What the okay. I'm hearing the audio because I have headphone that's reaching my other account on my phone. But OBS isn't hearing the audio. And I don't know why. No, there's literally no volume coming in from you guys. There should be, but there isn't. And I don't know how to fix it. What the hell, OBS? Well, my audio's back. Technical difficulties. What the hell, OBS? Why aren't you working properly? The frick? Why? It should be picking up you guys' audio from Discord. But Max decided, oh, we're gonna treat audio differently. So you have to set up this like virtual device on your computer for this thing to work. And apparently decided it wouldn't work. It was working it was working before the stream. I don't know what the frick happened. I don't even have a technical difficulty screen to show. So I'm just gonna be freaking out on camera for this to the rest of this stream until I can get you guys' mic to work. What the hell, OBS? Is it working now? Nope, it's not. It's not working. That didn't do anything. Oh my god! It was working before the stream, and I don't know what happened. Yeah, I figured out. What the hell? This is the worst stream ever. Okay. Now I'm not even seeing your audio in Discord. I'm hearing it on my other device that I'm listening to that makes it a borderline speech jammer. But I'm not actually hearing you yet. Like, I'm not seeing the audio on my Discord for the computer. So say something.
Welcome back to Technical Issues, the stream entirely about technical issues.
Okay. I've got... There we go! Stupid Discord. I had to hang up as Comic Sans Pony and call back in. Say something.
Ah, yes, of course. That it would be ridiculous to expect it to work. As always.
Okay. Chat. Can you hear my guest now?
Can
Oh, yeah, there's a delay. Say something.
Can we do it? Yes, we can.
I'm seeing levels in OBS.
We will get fucked. Get
Watch
fucked.
your language. This is a.
Well, if they can't hear me,
Well,
doesn't matter.
yes, it now is working. So watch your language. This is not a.
Okay.
Okay.
Welcome back to Technical Issues, the podcast
16 minutes
entirely
in.
about technical
We
issues.
can finally get to the meat of the panel.
All right.
Okay. So what were we talking about before Discord decided, nah, I'm just not gonna accept audio at all?
Yeah, well, is it working now?
Yes, it is working. The mod in the chat has indicated that he heard you say the F word, as well as can we do it? Yes, we can. So, y'all have been heard now. So,
Hello, everybody.
and
We're no longer in the technical issues podcast. We're gonna go back to the regular podcast.
yeah, after our viewership went down by 2.
Scheduled went down by 2. Oh my! What a giant fall.
Well, one of them was you,
2 whole
and one of them was
thirds
the
of
mod. There were 2 other people.
2
Mainly.
whole thirds. 1 whole half of the audience.
Okay, let's just talk for the next hour, or well, less than an hour at this
Let's
point.
hope that.
Okay,
Let's
so,
hope people. Well, we can talk for longer. It's not like they're gonna. I mean, even if they shut us down, we can keep going, even if we don't want to. Anyway, hello everybody. Welcome back. This is the comic panel where we talk about comics with comic, and
try to be comical.
that is my cheesiest radio announcer voice.
So,
Remember, we are sponsored by Crest.
we're not sponsored by.
Other toothpastes are available. That's how you get away with saying things. That's how you get away with saying things on BBC TV, because that's how you know it's not sponsored. You just say other blank is available.
Yes, brought to you by Convenient Corp. So convenient, it's contrived. It's a reference to something I tried to start on my other channel that didn't actually work out. A company that makes super convenient devices that are like secretly demonic. But that's not what this panel is about. So, Chalkfee, you were mentioning that you were reading the most recent arc.
Oh yeah, so I decided to prepare for this podcast panel. It's not a podcast. I don't know. Anyway,
Both.
to prepare for this panel, I was perpetually reading some ponies. And I was reading the latest arc in the main Friendship is Magic comic title. You know what I mean? Issues 87 and 88, which are immediately preceding the gap to issue 89, which is the start of Season 10, in quotes. It's an interesting arc. I believe it... What do they call it? It was something like the... It was like a race. It was about a race, right? And so it's like this arc where Rainbow Dash...
And I have to admit this at a lot of these panels that I'm not actually caught up on the comics. I'm a
Are you caught up, Anime?
Can
we have a conversation about comics that's completely devoid of having comic enter into the comic panel?
Oh man. So, you were saying.
No, anime.
Yes. Yes.
Have you read the last couple comics?
Like, I have read all the way. I haven't. I haven't read all of them as of now, at least.
So you've read the Pony Day Tunda or Day Pony, whatever they call it, 500 arc.
That sounds.
Oh yeah, you mean the?
It sounds like also it could be like the Amazing Race kind of.
Yeah, the Amazing Race. Yes.
Kind of the point. They steer away from the concept. I kind of wish the arc was longer so they could really
how many
use the
comics
concept more.
One comic.
It was only
comics,
2.
3 comics, or 4
It was
comics?
it was only it was a 2 comic arc, so it was an arc, but it wasn't you know what I mean?
Well, technically, I got a feeling that the last comic issue was sort of kind of rushed because they oh crap, so we're gonna start on season 10. We gotta finish this fast. That's just my opinion.
So, on the topic of season 10.
Yeah.
Season 10.
Well, first, I wanted to say a couple of things.
Exploitative of IDW to say season 10 coming to the comics.
Not really.
the show is canceled. Like better
No, well,
get those Brody
it's a
to
common
buy our
practice.
comics.
It's a common practice.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
I think I mentioned
like
it in the
in
last Them
a lot of
Comics
shows
panel
have that.
IDW specifically, or is it Dark Horse, did it for Buffy the Vampire Slayer season 8.
Yeah.
Adventure Time. They all can continue in the comics. But I talked over you. I apologize. What were you saying?
Yeah, no. So it is a common occurrence in a lot of shows. I think the point of it being titled Season 10 is that some of the show writers are going to be doing some of the writing for this. I think that was the point. I don't know for that for sure,
but also possibly a bad thing.
Like,
the thing is, we don't
writers
know
have
if
their
that is
strengths
true.
and
If that is true, we don't know if they are going to be that good at writing for the comics, because the comics is a different medium. But there is a very large similarity between episodic TV and comics. Comics and TV are both written on a script level. They're written fairly similarly when it comes to certain things. And if you're not doing the Marvel method, it's mostly just you have an active script, but with a tiny bit of improvisation. What's that?
Oh, I was like, the Marlboro method. Wait, that's a cigarette company. The Marvel method.
Yeah, the Marvel method. The Marvel method is where you send, instead of a script, you send a summary to your artist. Your artist then draws all of the art for the whole thing, and then you add in the text afterward to match the art. It's kind of like the difference between anime dubbing and when you make animation to follow the voice actors, right? So, like in My Little Pony, for example, or Steven Universe, they have the voice actors do all of the recording beforehand, and then they have to sometimes dramatically change the animation from what was initially there to make it match what the voice actor. For example, in the song "It's Over, Isn't It" from Steven Universe, the actress way overplayed it. So it was supposed to be this very subtle song, but it then got turned into this big, huge song in the show because of just the way the voice actress portrayed it. And you can also see the same thing in My Little Pony when you have the line of Rarity-isms. Whenever Rarity does the thing where they ask her to gasp, and then she does it 5 times.
The Rarity basically beatboxes. Apparently, because Tabitha St. Germain or something would give them various scoffing sounds, and they would just include all of them.
Several takes, and they would just decide to include all of them because they're all funny. And now it's a thing about her character that has been created because of that. And that's really interesting. But that wasn't written into the script. So that's the difference between that and, on the other hand, the Marvel method. On the other hand, fully scripted things that then are drawn after everything is scripted, which I am fairly certain this is, with only a modicum of improvisation. Background characters are obviously improvised by the artist. That's why you can see a lot of artists have signature characters or even placing themselves within the comics.
That has benefited the comic artist because Katie Cook and Andy Price actually got canon show ponies of their OCs. So
yeah. So yeah, that's what I was saying. So that's the level of improvisation that they have in this comics, but it's not as much as the Marvel method. And so it's kind of a medium between the extremes of the Marvel method, which is used to be really useful but isn't used as much anymore, and classic complete, this is what you have to have, do everything, write everything immediately beforehand. And those are different types of comics.
Mm.
Okay.
And then obviously there's the final kind of comic, which is you're the guy that does everything. Hello, Peanuts. You do the art. You're the artist and the writer, so everything just happens at once.
Okay. Steering back to comics, MLP comics. Even though Anime and I kind of talked about this, I think last time, but you weren't there, Chalkly, and you have opinions on it. What do you hope to see in season 10?
You know, like I think I said this before, but I'm hoping that after seeing the Applejack teaming up with a bunch of characters that is not, not used much in the show and all that, specifically Tempest and all that, that's a movie character, but I'm hoping they do that. They do that for every single member of the main six. One character leads a group of characters that we saw in the finale doing something what they did before, during that time when they were separated and all that. I mean, it leaves open to a lot of characterization between the members of the main six and a lot of those side characters that you see in the finale.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm being honest, what I want from season 10 is I really want a mixture of the writing and the styles of the comics and the show. I really want continuity. What I would really like from season 10 is for it to... You can make that joke in post. You don't have to make it now.
You think this panel is going to post editing?
Yes.
No, I'm just letting it upload. Technical difficulties and everything. I think there was one time where I trimmed the beginning of one of these panels, but since then I haven't really. Unless you say something really bad that gets me banned from any future LunyCons, I'm not doing any editing. So please don't say anything bad.
Let's see. What's the worst thing I could possibly say?
Just don't, please. I will mute you. I will kick you from this call, Chalkfeed. Do not get me kicked from LunyCon.
The best MLP character is Angel Money.
Oh my god, how dare you say that?
Angel Money is best pony.
He's not even a pony.
He was for an episode.
Valid point. Him and Fluttershy did the body swap episode.
Yeah, it was a good episode.
Yeah, and actually, I think that was a pretty decent body swap episode because it didn't fall into some of the tropes. Where like they didn't change eye color. They didn't really change much. They showed them change location.
What I really liked was that they didn't change voice actor.
They also didn't
that
change
is
voice actors. Yeah,
one of the most annoying tropes in body swapping, and it makes it so much better when it's like the actress for Fluttershy trying to pretend to be a bunny, trying to pretend to be Fluttershy, and it's great.
There was an issue in my recent review of the Spike and Luna, Friends Forever. My shout out to my own reviews. They're on the channel somewhere. Just click the channel link somewhere. It's the most recent upload.
Except for this.
This is a live stream, and the new version of YouTube, Studio.
It's still gonna count as an upload.
Than your regular uploads, even though it will.
It's still gonna be in the same menu.
But anyways, there was a scene when Spike goes to Dragontown Comics, and there's a conversation happening while he's exploring the comic shelves, where a bunch of dragons are talking about how there isn't much dragon representation in comics. And then they happen to mention, except for that one time that Humdrum was a dragon. And I'm like, that was a body swap trope. Humdrum did not actually become a dragon.
No.
That was a specific Enchanted comic from the Camelot House of Enchanted Comics. And so it sucked the main six and Spike into that comic.
But
turned them
it wasn't
into
a body
the
swap
Power Ponies
episode.
And their sidekick.
It wasn't technically wasn't a body swap. It was a role swap.
I'm still
It was a role swap.
To make it easier for the audience to understand who is who, they kept their regular color palettes.
No, it wasn't a body swap. It was explicitly not a body swap in the episode. It was a role. They were like actors in the comic.
Okay. It still followed a lot of body swap or taking over a fictional character kind of tropes.
Yes, but that usually is the thing what happens.
But see, it was only that one Enchanted issue of the comic.
Remember Cleft? You remember Cleft from the Crimson Chin? And how he turned into a brunette?
I'd always wonder, like, who had this idea of, let's make the comics more realistic by having having the chance to put the reader into the situation. It's like if a random LP comic is out of nowhere, and then you read it, and it's like, oh, now you're Pony.
It's basically
who wouldn't buy that?
Because magic, because it could.
You would buy that.
So
I know I would buy that.
Yeah.
I'd buy a comic. I mean, it would be really awkward because in the comics the ponies don't have genitals, and that would be hard to deal with.
Let's not go there, but yes, if
personally, that would be hard to deal with if I got turned into a pony.
It's because it's a TVY series, Chakvi. They're not gonna give them anatomically correct. Correct. They have to keep
I know.
It TVY.
And yet, the stuff they reference in this includes, like, Rick and Morty and...
Anyway, so, in the
Fringe.
The episode, the Power Ponies episode, when all the main six became the Power Ponies, that was only for that one issue of the comic that was enchanted specifically for that to happen. It's not every single version of that comic had Humdrum as...
Theoretically, it could have been, though.
It was interesting to see them try to reference the show
Didn't he send the comic back into it?
But they didn't reference it correctly. They could have mentioned, well, there's that line of Enchanted Comics where you can become the Power Ponies. Or they could have had another dragon say, yeah, when I tried that, I became Humdrum. Or something like that. Like, it could reference it in that apparently the comic is racist and makes all dragons Humdrum.
Oh man, the comics are racist.
How do you have a racist spell?
That sounds like a question that would make a good Fallout Equestria fic. How do you have a racist spell? And then have, like, 200 pages explaining why you would have a racist spell.
Well...
Or a racism spell.
The bypass... To briefly tangent into Fallout Equestria, the biological bypass that the Ministries and in Fallout Equestria Red Eye was looking into would basically...
I like how you assumed that people would know who the Ministries are, but not Red Eye.
It would not harm ponies, but only harm zebras. So, technically, it already exists in Fallout Equestria. a way to make a spell racist.
So anyway,
But that's not what this panel is about. So let's bring it back to comics. I know, Chaka,
see,
you
it
were
would have been
excited
more
about
interesting if that
season
was what it
10,
was about.
showing the Zebralands to say
Oh, yeah.
to everybody in the Fall Equestria community, ha! That's where Zebraca is. Deal with it.
Man,
Yeah.
it kind of sucks that it has to be in the comics instead of the show. That's like the one thing that they sort of left out, and people are so confused by that, and it makes
It's
me
weird
wonder.
because
Yeah.
the
Why
zebras
were there
never
no
even
zebras
went
at
to.
Magic School? Sorry, Friendship
Yeah.
School.
Yeah,
See,
yeah,
that's
Why
the
were there
thing.
no zebras at Friendship School?
I hope they might explain that in season 10, episode 1.
like maybe they're like inclusive. Maybe zebra, maybe only Sakura is like the one that actually is bothered to stay in these lands or something. But even still, like, man,
Yeah,
it's-
the zebra lands are supposed to be far away. That's what their journey is. And I believe I got someone saying that it was going to be about, like, the zebras all live in trees like Sakura does.
it's like that. When with
There's
Sakura
actually
being
one other race that wasn't at Magic School. Friendship School.
Deer?
Yeah.
The deer, yes, that was a comic race. Not that, and the magical reindeer. I guess they weren't there either.
Giraffe.
But
well,
there was also the anthropomorphic cat creatures of Abyssinia, the Capper race. They weren't at Friendship School. Nor any of the other races from Clungtown.
well, to be fair, like the trying to them bringing peace with the Diamond Dogs and the Arisidians in the finale. Yeah, that's like
there were no Diamond Dogs either.
Oh yeah, well, that too.
Yeah.
There were a lot of races excluded from Friendship School.
No cloud imps.
I don't like the Cloud Imps. That's also a comic exclusive.
Oh, speaking of the cloud imps, let me go back to what I was saying about issues 78 and 77.
Yeah.
So they actually bring back the cloud imps, but as
God.
another character. They bring a new cloud imp into these comics, which I can't find anywhere except for in the comic. Nobody has written down that this exists in the wiki or anything.
Fandom wikis can be edited, so you could go in and add information about
I
them.
may have to.
And since no one has created a fandom name for the character, you get to make up
His name's
the name.
Lumpy. He has a name. His name's Lumpy.
Okay.
He was named by in the first panel that he exists, where like the enemy, who's the guy who's like doing this stuff, whose name is Dr. Sax Romer,
Okay.
freelance archaeologist,
Okay.
and the imp's name is Mr. Lumpy. It's just Lumpy.
Okay then. What were the names of the other imps? Did the other imps have names?
Yeah, they had names.
Huh?
They've always had names.
I just didn't bother to I would look it up if I needed to reference it specifically. But
Their names are Big Boy
they were
and Runt.
antagonists. They just kind of broke the lore of the world because they didn't exist in the show. And they kind of contradicted show canon.
Your names are Big Boy and Runt.
Okay.
I do. Something. I kind of hope that season 10 would at least, would maybe try to like incorporate some of the B canon comics. At least some of them into the main.
No, that's the thing. I want season 10 to incorporate some comic canon. That is what I want from season 10 the most.
I think
although,
season 10, if
at
we're
this
going to be
point-
exploring... Oh, sorry, I'm talking over you.
At this point, we have actually had confirmation of several comics in the show, meaning that some of the comics are definitely canon. See
comics are canon, yes, they're
the
not.
references to that comic about what's-his-face's descendant and
Stygius?
Yeah. Stygian, the reference to Stygian's descendant in that one episode
Which
about
I
the book.
still don't get how he could have descendants unless it was like a brother, sister, aunt, uncle, cousin, because he didn't really look above like 18 years old, or he didn't seem like he was like a teenager, and also really antisocial and edgy. So I doubt he had a significant other, but I mean, I could be wrong.
Well, I could see some of it being incorporated, like maybe like maybe like how like I could see them referencing the Friends Forever, most of the Friends Forever comics, like specifically the one with Luna and Spike, because they made peace with the dragons, show them living and trying to live in the
There are almost certainly going to be some references in season 10, right?
Well, there's gonna be more
Because
than
the
some.
artists
They're
aren't
written by
changing.
show
The
staff.
artists are the
They
same.
can reference whatever the frick they want.
The artists are the same, right? So there's
I think the artists are
at
the same.
minimum.
What I want to see is revisiting the MLP multiverse. Like maybe check in on Folestia and Luna Alternate in the evil Equestria to see if they're doing well dealing with with good King Sombra becoming evil. Now that comic can only, unfortunately, Sombra got reformed so good King Sombra now exists in the comic universe. Who's restored to his good self from
Comics,
corruption.
Sombra isn't a pony.
But him and Radiant Hope or something are now trying to find the pieces of the Miyamori Cadenza statue to restore the original Miyamori Cadenza.
Also in the comics, he wasn't a pony.
He was
Sombrero.
an Umbrum, the Shadow Pony race kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which, if they had gone with that for the Pony of Shadows, it would have been actually kind of cool to kind of tie that little bit of lore to the comics, where the power that Stygian was harnessing was the power of the Umbrum. Because the Umbrum are
you remember that
rather
reference that we
unutilized
never
in the comics. They only exist for the Sombra backstory and Siege of the Crystal Empire.
You remember that fucking thing? You remember those cliffhangers from like season 6 that never got explained? Like at the end of the Pony of Shadows episode, where somebody shows up and then it's not the Pony of Shadows. And remember that one scene at the end of the Flutterbat episode where Fluttershy reveals she still has the fang and it never shows up?
Like maybe we have the comics did actually have a vampire fruit bat thing, where they kind of reference the Command C, Command P, I can't remember, copy and paste spell that Twilight used to turn them into Breezies.
Control P.
By recoaxing the vampire fruit bat side of Fluttershy to come back out in order to copy and paste that onto the other main 6 to stop these corrupted apples. Night of the Living Apple was a very strange arc.
Yeah, there's a lot of strange arcs in the comics.
I've been meaning to cover Night of the Living Apple on some Halloween review, but like I'm just so many comics away from it, and I don't want to just jump ahead to cover it. But I mean,
I think you might actually like doing the comic reviews again if you start skipping comics.
I bite my thumb at thee.
So what other interesting creatures do you like from the comics?
I would like to see more of the deer.
Yeah, like I actually really want that. I like the idea of the fact that they're the ones who can connect with the Evergreen Forest so peacefully that they can live in there without any problems and all that. I just wish their introductions wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
Man.
Maybe some more exploration of the reindeer from the Best Gift Ever special.
Yeah, like
Um,
maybe they could tie it with them, and just to have an excuse to say, yeah, this is canon now and all that.
let's see. Well, what other things would be nice for them to cover? Um, hmm. Maybe some more history of the changelings, which we do technically get in the Chrysalis fiendship.
I mean, they can
We
make
kind
they
of get
can make
random moments in pony history when the changelings invaded various pony things and how they became Swiss cheese. Um, them in
it's
preparation for Canterlot invasion, uh, where Chrysalis got her crown, and then even though completely wordlessly and only shown through visuals, the birth of the changelings, which were quite interesting.
I don't think that's
I said it
canon.
before in a
That I
previous
don't
Them
think
Pony
that
Comics
fits into
panel,
canon.
but it
The
was
other ones
like
fit into canon,
what?
but I don't feel like that fits into canon very well.
honestly, I still find it
There's
dumb
no
that
official
what this.
origin for the changelings, so it's possible.
Honestly, I still find it super super dumb that they formed from a freaking acorn.
Yes, a diseased acorn
It was from a
was
tree.
rejected by a squirrel,
Oh, whatever.
landed in some weird
But
bog that had a unicorn skeleton in it. And so it landed in the bog, started growing, took the unicorn skeleton and a fly, formed into some weird diseased tree that Star Swirl happened to be passing by. Thought,
I did was
that's
cursed.
weird and
Nailed
magical.
it.
I better put a warning on it. Hammer and nail, put the warning on it. But by nailing it into the tree, he allowed it to, when he left, he allowed it to split open, birthing the changeling, insectoid unicorns.
Mm-hmm.
That is just so dumb. Oh my
Which is
god.
just an interesting origin. I'd like to see what a more canon, I guess, origin would be, or at least more of their history.
Yeah, I rather they cut off the acorn part and just find something else that makes it not stupid.
Yeah. Um. What was I gonna say? Well, for the last 10 minutes, if any of the people watching want to toss us some questions regarding the MLP comic series for our thoughts and opinions, feel free. If not, we'll just find something else to talk about for 10 minutes, even though we ended up starting 20 minutes late because of technical difficulties. So I guess technically we can extend 20 minutes later. Not like we're being kicked off the stream because the next stream is on the same channel. So we can go for longer. Season 10, other interesting comic exclusive stuff. More Tibbles. Tibbles the opossum is best pet. Don't at me.
What about adding you? What happened?
Tibbles the possum, Luna's pet.
What about him?
I want more of him in season 10. I want another pet-only comic that also includes Philomena, Tibbles, Twiggy, and Boulder. Just all the pets.
Boulder sounds like it would be really hard.
Well, it would be interesting to just have the pet reluctantly carry around the stick and the twig. Sorry, the stick and the rock. Just because the ponies treat them like pets, so like fine, I guess they can tag along. Or they could even be the central reason for the comic to happen. Maybe all the pets are left to their own devices, maybe at Fluttershy's cottage again, and they accidentally allow Twiggy and Boulder to get pet napped. And the pets then have to go on this adventure to try to get the rock and the stick back before the ponies notice that they're gone. It would be interesting. It would be one of those ones that have, like, no dialogue. Just a bunch of, like, word bubbles with, like, sounds or something in it. It would have to be more of a show, not tell kind of thing. And the thing is, they could even have this arc exist in the background of another arc involving the ponies.
That's one thing that's funny. There's a whole bunch of arcs that are just... I mean, not arcs. There's a whole bunch of sound effects which are just leap and, like, pop and shit in the comics. It's funny. I like that.
I'm just saying, like, since they have season 10, it might even extend to season 12, 13, 14, etc. Say 11, 12.
No, that really depends. Although, like, I don't know how long I don't know how long that season 10 is gonna last, but you know,
Yeah,
I do.
At some point, they're probably gonna start making Pony Life comics, which will suck. Since that's Gen 4.5. What would the stop motion animation things be 4.5?
I think there was a raisin in my M&Ms. Yeah.
Gross. Are you eating Alex?
I ate a peanut M&M, and it tasted like a raisin.
Maybe that M&M was expired.
That one M&M?
Yes.
Just the singular M&M.
Yep.
None of the rest in the box.
Nope. Anyways, because they have this new medium, they could actually do that. They could have, like, multiple arcs exist at the same time, but one arc takes the center focus of one set of comics, and another arc takes the focus of another set of comics, but in the background of each of those arcs, you see the other arc going on. Like a plot, B plot kind of thing, but the more of the just for sidekicks and games ponies play kind of thing, where it's like they're both happening at the same time, but the focus is different. They could actually do that more frequently, and even layer it like 2 or 3 different plots on top of each other in the comics, because it's a lot easier to do that than do it in the TV show, where you have to have those 3 episodes or whatever, or 2 or 3 episodes follow each other for it to make sense. In the comics, they could have one arc happen with the stuff in the background occurring, another completely unrelated arc, and then do an arc where it shows the background arc from the first series or something like that. It would be interesting. I just like Tibbles. Tibbles is best pet, like I said. Don't at me. And I really wish...
But Angel Bunny isn't a pet.
I really wish they had included Tibbles in the show canon, because every pony that was a main character, except for Spike... Oh, Spike technically had Pee-wee, but he gave it back to the Phoenixes.
I like Pee-wee.
The only character to not have a pet in the show was Starlight and Luna.
Yeah,
we don't have any pets club officially. There might be maybe a comic showing Starlight does have a pet. Oh, she had her pet plant. So actually, it's just Luna. Luna's the only one without a pet.
Wait, but didn't the plant sort of like got destroyed like Trixie and it rest in peace?
I don't know. Did Phyllis survive?
I don't think so. After that,
She was
Starlight-
adorable.
Starlight is still having more flashbacks ever since Trixie threw that plant in the garbage. I feel so sad
I
for her.
just think another pet arc would be interesting, including the princess's pets too. Would be kind of fun, not just the main 6 pets. That would be fun.
See more of the world?
An Abyssinian comic arc involving maybe showing Capper returning to his homeland of Abyssinia.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like basically, bring back most of the movie characters, especially the pirates. Can you believe that those pirates did not came back in the last episode? They brought back Tempest.
Oh
They
yeah,
brought back.
they didn't have the harpy pirates.
Yeah, like it's just like they just completely forgot about them.
Oh well.
They
Tough
were
cookies.
in the
Show's
south.
over.
They were
Can't do anything about it
They were
now.
farther away. They were farther away.
They were committing piracy. They were busy.
The unicorns couldn't teleport the ship. I don't know.
There's certain things that
Ooh, you know what I would love
are
to see
like
in the comics,
movie
which isn't
exclusive
gonna
and they can
happen?
only be included in the movies.
You know what I would
The way
love
that
to see in the
contracts
comics that
work in the
totally isn't
film
gonna happen?
industry. Notice how Capper and Tempest didn't have any voice parts in the finale. They were just there. Because the voice actors for those characters would cost Hasbro an arm and a hoof. So, be happy they were there and stop.
You know what I would love to see in the
complaining
comics that
certain characters
probably
weren't.
isn't gonna happen?
Hmm?
You know what I'd love to see in season 10, which probably isn't gonna happen?
What?
Confirmation that the Student 6 are the next elements of harmony.
Are
No,
they,
I'm pretty
though?
sure.
Weren't
I'm
the
pretty
elements
They are.
destroyed?
It's shown in the show on 2 separate occasions, but there's enough wiggle room where people say they aren't, and I want them to prove them wrong.
Well, I mean, I guess they did kind of like say that the elements no longer need a physical form. So I want more of creepy of creepy Tree of Harmony Twilight. Just Tree
The
of
one that
Harmony
sparkles.
Twilight.
I want every comic to be painted with glitter where she is. So it just has,
Like texture, like foil comics where they're just like
yeah,
glitter.
just like a little tiny bit of glitter right on only her. Wiggle, wiggle,
glitter
wiggle.
would just get everywhere. That's just how glitter works.
Only if you do the wrong
you
kind
make
of
something with
glitter.
glitter when you're like 5 years old, and then when you're 20, you still find glitter in your hair from that one time when you were 5. Once you touch glitter, it never leaves you.
Okay, so like I still also hope that we can actually see the real Grogar this time.
I don't know. I feel like it was good enough
It
that
was an
I don't
odd
feel like
twist. It was an
Rogar
odd twist. I
would
would have
be
preferred.
good.
I'm sorry.
It wasn't even that big a plot twist. I called it on the first fucking episode. I called it on the first episode, and nobody
Okay, I gotta say this. I gotta say
agreed
this
with me.
because even I did that because
I called it immediately, and nobody believed me until it was revealed later on.
well, it's
It was
because
an interesting twist.
why would Discord throw all his friends under the bus like
Because
that?
it was a test. It was a test. He'd already done tests in the past. This was just
Yeah,
another
but,
test.
But
He
the
was
thing
testing
is,
them
like,
again. Like
the thing- yeah, but
glass
the
of
thing-
water. Like the fucking what was that finale? The finale with the tentacles.
Okay,
It was
yeah,
another
but-
test. The
well, yeah,
same
but the
thing.
thing,
It
But
was
the thing
trying to
is,
prove the confidence. It was trying to get Twilight to be confident, which was the plot earlier in the episode, and had already been shown that Discord's like, "Hey, you should be confident," and Twilight's like, "Hey, then," and then leaves, and that's the. Anyway.
yeah, but the thing is that he sort of like allowed three of the worst villains and almost put everyone under a potential 1,000-year rule or a 1,000-year winter, depending on how if Tira could actually destroy those
Worst villains.
Wait,
They were all
you
horrible villains.
You consider Cozy Glow one of the most evil villains in MLP?
Well, come on, like let's be honest. Like when they,
I want to hug her. I want a Cozy Glow plush.
Okay, yeah,
Can I
but
have
the
that?
thing is that like it's just that Discord, like the thing is
Like
that
that.
Discord did not like had a plan B for this, and not to mention that like wait, you're telling me that he did not prepare for this when he literally got screwed over. Wait a minute, maybe I should have a plan B just in case if they threw me under the bus again.
He had a
Well,
plan.
as to the real Grogar, that was his bell with his actual magic inside.
Yeah, no, Grogar exists.
So
but
the magic of Grogar exists. Whether the physical form of Grogar is still alive would be interesting to show. Like
doubtful.
maybe they
Okay.
want to.
Here's the thing: Grogar was a legend when all of that stuff in the stuff in the prequel stuff happened. Before Equestria was made, before Discord was in Equestria, before the original founders of Equestria founded Equestria, before any of that, this happened. Because we have seen various points. We have seen various points in the history of early Equestria. Right? You go back in time. If you start at the end, you have Nightmare Moon. Before Nightmare Moon was Discord. Before Discord was
Tyrek.
I don't think Tyrek actually interacted with. Did Tyrek actually
planning it,
interact
at
with
least.
the princesses?
Well, Tyrek, no, not really. That was that.
Who defeated Tyrek the first time? Wasn't
That
it
was-
just
it was-
his brother?
it was his
I
brother.
think
It was
him
his
up
It's
brother.
heavily implied to have been the pillars.
Well, it depends, but
I
the
feel
thing
like
is
they would have mentioned that in the final, battle if that was true. They would have been like, "Hey, you guys, screw you guys!"
the thing is
And,
that
shot
like,
them.
actually the show made it clear that it might be his brother. Maybe he
Well,
we don't know what happened.
his brother betrayed him. Obviously, that was the thing.
It was
Yeah,
Star
that
Swirl, and Star Swirl was one of the pillars, so it was probably the pillars, or it may have just been Star Swirl alone.
Okay, in which case that means Tyrek came before the Pony of Shadows.
Probably he was in Tartarus for a long time.
Because Star Swirl was there, right?
Yeah.
That means Tyrek was before Pony of Shadows, which means that so it goes going back. It's Nightmare Moon. Then before that it was Discord. Then before that it was Pony of Shadows. Before that it was Tyrek, or it was the Wendigos. But it could either be one of those two. And then you can switch them. But Wendigos is the official founding. Wendigos has to have happened before any of the other ones, because that's the founding of Equestria. And before that was Grogar. But that was 500 years before that. Before the founding of Equestria. I don't remember the explicit date.
There's another
I can look
thing-
it up, but...
I'm trying to say something. Sorry, I'm trying to let you speak because I talked a lot during this panel. Sorry.
Huh? We talked a lot in the panel?
No, I talked a lot in the panel, so I was trying to let you speak, but I did have something else I wanted to say. So,
Yeah.
because
next panel is starting in the
anthropomorphic
Looney
cat
Tunes
creatures
server.
exist, it would be interesting if they brought back the Gen 1, I think it was Katrina, a witch cat person. They could do that. Now they have cat humanoids.
Okay, so nobody's watching us.
You think I do these streams to get views? But
No,
yeah, I
but
guess this is a good
you got a
point to wrap it up.
message from the mod that you might want to look at.
In case you'd like to join us, the next panel is. I'm aware.
I don't know what that is. I didn't see it until just now. I wanted to make sure you saw it.
Well, since we
Magic
started late because of
magic
technical
cat.
difficulties, we're ending a little bit late. But so thank you to those who did come by for the live panel, or maybe you decided to sit through this haphazard train wreck.
Thanks, Orbs.
As a recording.
Thanks, Orbs.
Seriously, who is actually in the chat still? Is it Solaris, or is it the mod, or is it this guy? Is it Patrick? Is Patrick Roberry still here?
I don't know. But tomorrow, I believe 4 p.m. EDT, I am doing the second part of this panel, which will be fan comic specific, which is something that I've been trying to incorporate into this panel for a while, but we always talk canon comics the entire time. So I'm dedicating the entire finale of this panel format to fan comics. I read a few of them.
Be there.
And there's probably a ton more that I've never read, but we'll talk about them tomorrow. I believe anime is free then. I'm not sure if Chalk Fee is, and I think my editor, as well as possibly Robin0928.
You start right before I start work.
Yeah. So Robin
I think you said it started at 4. You start when I start work.
Okay. Trying to announce.
But you need to announce the time anyway.
What?
You need to announce the time anyway.
True. It's around, I think it's 4 p.m., because I'm bad at calculating time zones. I'm in MST from EST, so it ended up being later in the evening. But it'll be probably anime. Oh, wrong direction. Oh, no. Anime. It'll be my editor, Zion Craze, and I think Robin0928. As to what I'll be doing instead of the Them Pony Comics panel at future conventions, is I will be starting a series on my channel of more frequent live streams, hopefully, called, like, the tentative title is Comic Book Club. I'll probably come up with a cooler name. But basically, if it happens at a convention, or just in general, there will be required reading. And we will actually have a discussion specifically tailored towards a single comic book arc. As if we were having a book club, but instead of a long chapter book, you got to read some graphic novels. Or, graphic comics.
I mean, just an arc, which is a lot shorter than a graphic novel. A graphic novel is usually the length of 6 comics. None of the pony comics are that long.
True.
I guess, well, okay, unless you count Legends of Magic and stuff like that, where it's a series, where it's not really an arc, but the series is a short series.
Yeah,
in which case you could say
I'll probably officially be starting the comic book club at least a week or two after season 10 officially starts, because we might tailor it specifically to season 10. Maybe we'll also cover things like Nightmare Nights, and some of the other arcs that I've yet to review officially on my channel. But I'm trying to cover newer comics without disrupting my current reviews. And so doing a live stream of
sometime after August.
Work, hopefully.
That's sometime in August. Or we could probably start this quicker. That's a long way away comic.
Well, okay, maybe I'll start it with Nightmare Nights. That's Nightmare KN. Which was an interesting mini-series that I really would like to review, but it's really far away, so we'll do a comic book club for it. So yeah. Thank you for the few people who stopped by, as well as anybody who sat through this VOD. Hopefully tomorrow we don't have audio issues. And see you then. You guys want to say goodbye before I stop streaming?
See you guys later.
Goodbye, every pony.